and welcome back to another episode of Thy Kingdom Come with Sarah and Daryl. And today is part 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it, of our Walk in the Bible series. So we're excited to start off. Last time we led off and we left you with a cliffhanger. We tried to have a cliffhanger anyways, our first Who Shot JR moment.
Yeah.
We left you with Cain being kicked out of
Out of where?
out of where, but
That's a good
out of
question.
God's presence anyways.
Yeah.
And he went into the land of Nod and found a wife, and he became innocent. And now here's an interesting story that a tidbit that I picked up last night. According to the book of Moses, the Cain's descendants are black and cursed. So Cain is cursed, then cursed by God, right? But he's got a mark on him that says nobody can kill him.
Okay.
Remember that from the previous
Yes.
episode? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got that, but he's also been cursed by God, correct? Because
Okay.
he said in Genesis 4, he said, what you've done, he said, your work it will never give its yield. Your work will never give yield. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth.
Right.
And
Vagabond.
and so then Cain just said, your punishment's hard. I might as well just die. And he said, no, I'll mark you so that you don't die, but you're still cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So his descendants are identified as Cain's descendants are identified as black and cursed in the book of Moses.
Where does it say that?
In the book of Moses.
In the book. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
I just learned of the book of Moses a little while ago, so I haven't read it.
Oh.
But I just picked up that tidbit last night doing a little research on what we're talking about here today. So now we're going to talk about the line of Cain and the next part of the Bible here. So the line of Cain was he had a wife. He got a wife, and he named the city Enoch after his son. But this isn't the Enoch that went to. This is not the Enoch that God took up.
Right. That's much later.
That's much later.
Yeah.
And there's really not there's a lot of stuff in here, but I don't think we really need to get into that. I didn't want to. I just thought we could kind of get over that. If Cain is to be avenged 7 times over. So basically it was Lamech said to his wives, Adam and Zillah, hear my voice, the wives of Lamech, pay attention to my words, for I killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. If Cain is to be avenged 7 times over, then Lamech it will be 77 times. So it just talks about the consequences of your actions in the right at the very beginning. As far as I'm there's more to that if we ever took a deep dive into it. But for this walk in the Bible, I wanted to go next into the line of Seth, because Adam, this was the third child. As far as I'm concerned, it was only the third child of Adam and
Seth was the
third child.
Yes.
Right. And Adam was 800 years old when he had Seth. Mm-hmm. So I want to make a note on this, because before the flood, these people lived forever and ever. Like they lived for like a long time.
This many years.
Yeah, like Methuselah. He lived. Where did he live? He was the oldest one. 969 years. Methuselah. This is the line of Seth. Okay, so the line of Seth is sort of important. We'll get to that in a minute. But
Gosh, we can barely make it to 100 now.
I know, because I understand that, or from the research I've done, and it's just research. It's not. I can't prove it, other than I can say that it was so healthy. There was no toxins in the system, right, in the world, and and the earth did not have rain in it yet, so all the water that they needed came from the earth itself through mist, and there was this abundance of oxygen, like way more oxygen than what we have now in our system, in our ecosystem.
Interesting.
Air. Okay, so. I have a hyperbaric chamber that I never use, but I probably should use it once in a while, because that gives you oxygen. It gives you more life, as far as I'm concerned. I've done studying on the hyperbaric chambers before, and oxygen is so healthy for you.
Right. It speeds up healing time like crazy.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, did you have something to say?
Nope.
Okay. So then Seth's a descendant was Methuselah, and okay, then we get into after the line of Seth, we get. Just going to say something here. Another descendant of Seth was Noah,
Mm.
and Noah's coming up soon, and we'll probably maybe cut this session off before we go into Noah, because the Noah session we'll see how long we're going to go.
Okay.
But so the sons of God are mentioned in the Bible on Genesis 6. So when mankind began to multiply on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of mankind were beautiful, and they took any they chose for wives for themselves. And the Lord said, my spirit will not remain with mankind forever, because they are corrupt. Their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim are believed to be giants. Like, we're talking huge people. Okay, I'm going to go back to the sons of God in a minute. They were the children of the sons of God and the daughters of mankind. So mankind, I'm going back to when I said that's where Cain, the descendants of Cain, right? That they made in Genesis 1, right? So, and I guess these women were very beautiful, that they were quite beautiful, and that the sons of God were fallen angels.
Oh, okay.
And they were not supposed to
mate with humans?
No, because they were angels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they created these giants.
Wow.
David slew Goliath. Goliath
was a giant.
Was
so
probably a Nephilim.
Giants came from somewhere.
Yeah. So God seen that he created judgment upon these people, the wickedness, because of the Nephilim. Okay. Do you want to?
Yeah, it just says those were the mighty men,
right,
who were of old men of renown. So even that mighty men part to describe the children all as mighty men.
Right. Mighty is in.
I don't know. Anytime anyone thinks of mighty, you automatically think of large.
Right. Yeah, mighty can have a good side to it as well.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it was meant for in this context, because we're talking about judgment was decreed. The Lord saw that the human wickedness was widespread in the earth, and every inclination of the human mind was nothing but evil all the time. The Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and he was deeply grieved. Then the Lord said, I will wipe mankind, whom I created, off the face of the earth, together with the animals, creatures that crawl, birds of the sky, for I regret that I made them. Noah, however, found favor with the Lord. And Noah just happened to be from the line of Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yes. Wow.
I just love history. I always loved history, and I love the lineage, how it goes. He didn't choose somebody else, because Noah was the last righteous person, and his family were but the last righteous people left on the earth.
Right. Right. And he makes it clear that is the only one that found favor in the eyes of the Lord. That's the only one that didn't sin as bad as all of what was going on.
Yeah. So he talks to Noah, and he tells him to build this ark, and Noah was obedient.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, build a giant ship. And he said, okie dokie, Lord.
That's right. That's what he did. Then he told him, I'm bringing a flood.
Yeah.
It's like Noah's like, okay, well, I'll build this big boat then. And he picked all the animals 2 by 2. And his wife and his children. I don't know.
Their husbands, and their wives, sorry.
And I'll establish a covenant with you, and you will enter the ark with your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives, and you're also to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, and 2 of everything, the birds and the bees and all that sort of stuff. So they entered the ark, and they were on the water for 40 days and 40 nights, and the flood covered the earth. And after that, they what have I got here for notes here? Rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights. It also burst from the earth. So the water comes up from the underground waters and up, down from the firmament or down from the sky. It flooded the earth.
Wow.
And it killed every living creature other than that were on the ark.
Right. And again, here's a bit of a foreshadowing moment because it says, and I'm just going by memory, but it says like people were eating and drinking and the flood came, like as if they didn't even know it was coming. And then you can go right to Revelations and there's the piece where two women will be working together and one will be taken. Like there's this, people will be eating and drinking the day that the Lord comes.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why we need to be ready. You must be ready. And a ready isn't like, oh, I got my backpack full of everything that I need because Armageddon is coming. It's not like that. It's having your spirit, having your soul ready. No, being conformed to Christ and trusting that that will happen. Going on a little bit of a rant here, but
no, that's good.
That just it's so interesting how you see this between the Old Testament and
Sarah's like always on that whole putting it together from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and that's a gift, and it's fun watching you do that and put that together.
Thanks be to God.
But the other thing about water, is it pures things, it cleans things. It was a cleansing. And do you know how God was mad? And he said, I want to wipe mankind off this earth.
Yeah.
So he made mankind before I believe that he made mankind before he made Adam and Eve. But interesting that the only people that were left on earth now, the second round, are the descendants of Adam and Eve.
Well, so
he regrets mankind.
That's really interesting.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think that there has to be something there because of the fact that Cain was cast out and then went to Nod, whatever that
was the land,
is.
The land of Nod.
The land of Nod, and found a wife and had descendants there. So, because actually it's interesting because someone posed that question the other day, like if there was Adam and Eve, then how else, that question. And the Bible actually doesn't say that because just that one piece, and like this is read from the Bible. It is the word of what is being said is that Cain is cast out and finds a wife in Nod.
But you go back to Genesis 1, preceding Genesis 2 when Adam and Eve are made. I'm going back to that to mankind. So just to remind people, in case you missed it, episode 1, you better go back and watch it because that's it. So, but in Genesis 1, verse 27, so God created man in his own image, and he created him in the image of God, and he created them, male and female. Male and female. Sorry. Am I taking you off?
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's good.
So I just wanted to you talked last time about the womb and the birthing. So what happens when a woman is going to give birth? Her water breaks.
Right.
And there's a cleansing. It cleans out.
Yes.
Cleans out the birth canal from any troubles.
Yes, that is true because even with C-section, there's something different that goes on there. Like there's, I think, different. I shouldn't even be opening my mouth about this because I don't know, but yes, it does. That's true.
I could tell a story. I don't know if I'm supposed to. Okay, I'm going to tell it. I'm getting permission. I'm divorced, and it's not something I'm proud of, but we lost a baby in infancy. Because we didn't, because they stripped the membranes and there was no flushing. When the baby was born, there was no water breaking. And then the baby died 19 hours later from group B strep because he picked up the bacteria. And I firmly believe, there's no scientific evidence that points to this, but I firmly believe that when the water breaks, it flushes all that stuff out. And had that not happened, like, to me, that's a personal experience that happened to me. So, but to move on, I just wanted to say that God's promise after that, when they got the flood stopped and the ark stopped, and I was going to talk about the Lord's promise. He promised to not to destroy every living creature again on earth. That was the Lord's promise. And the covenant that he made with them is to put a rainbow up.
Yes, I was just going to ask. And what sign did he give us?
Yeah, that's 9:13 to 16. If you want to read that, 9:13 to 16.
I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. It shall be when I bring a cloud over the earth that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. The waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. For the rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I will look on it to remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. Did I just read that again twice?
That's okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to leave it there for lesson 2 or episode 2 or session 2, and walk through the Bible with Sarah and Daryl. So until next time, have a good evening or afternoon or morning or wherever you're at, and God bless.
Mm-hmm.